system. Activating combat mode.
I will stop you and the silo. Carrying our shared resolve on the wings of this machine. Symbiosis, a shared life. I saw the potential for our future. You and I, we have walked together.
We got her, boys. That was 2 hours of my life. Holy crap. I got some learning to do. Wonder where he thinks he's gonna get that's gonna be safe.
There were no winners at the close of the Coral War. When the storm of fire finally faded, only the ashes of civilization remained. Ruined and haunted, the corporations made a joint announcement with the Planetary Closure Administration. Rubicon, was to be abandoned, left a dead planet forever. Meanwhile, the monster who burned the stars vanished into the flames, never to be heard from again.
It's curious.
Yet history would forever remember. The fires of Raven.
We never did find Walter. Never mentioned him again. All right. So, this is where all the cool kids always give their thoughts on the game afterwards. And oh my gosh, this was amazing. Or, oh, this was a piece of shit. Everything else. I loved this game. That final boss took 2 hours of my life. I am not going to upload all 2 hours, so I will tell you all on the path that I went on. And we'll just upload some of the parts there so that you can kind of see what happened. But basically, I went in there with my original highly melee-focused build and just could not punch through those, could not punch through that pulse shield that she had. I was just getting lambasted while trying to learn how to dodge all of her different shots and everything else. Switched up the build a little bit. I refused to go to the dual Gatling guns because I felt like that was just easy mode. I don't like going to the dual Gatling guns unless there's a boss like the one that's on the screen right now, where it's like very specifically beneficial to have exactly that loadout. Something like the Cataphract or the Cleaner, you know, the dual Gatling guns were kind of made for those fights, after all. So I didn't want to just go to the dual Gatling guns. I felt like that would be basically admitting defeat. It's a very low skill sort of play. I wanted to do better than that. So I went to a Gatling gun, and I don't recall, but you'll have seen the different builds that I'm talking about. It was a Gatling gun, and then I think maybe the pulse blade or something on my left arm. I tried a shotgun. I tried a couple of different things. I tried going dual bubble guns, and that would shred Ayre's pulse shield. Like I could drop her pulse shield in just a couple of seconds. But it unfortunately kind of left me out to dry in the second phase, where she became even more dodgy than she already was. And I just felt like I couldn't get close enough to actually land those hits consistently. Besides which, the bubble guns deal almost negligible impact damage that I would need to break her ACS. So, while I was getting her first phase without a lot of trouble, the second phase just felt nearly impossible. So then I went to the one chain gun, one pulse gun that you saw there. I struggled a little bit more with first phase, just because her pulse shield was pretty tanky in the face of a single chain gun. That one pulse gun would do work, but you know, it's difficult to land those shots pretty consistently. At least it was difficult for me. So honestly, a fair amount of that 2 hours, I'd say close to an hour and 30 minutes of it, actually. Close to an hour and 30 minutes of that 2 hours was actually just spent on phase one. Just a variety of phase one fights. There were a lot of times where, you know, I would take a hit pretty early on and just be like, that's too much damage. We're just going to reset. We're going to try it again. That's probably a good 15 minutes of that hour and a half, was just taking a big sword hit within the first 20 seconds and just being like, that's not how we're going to start this off. And then having to go back and start it all over again. Second phase is interesting. So she enters this period of semi-invulnerability where the damage she takes is remarkably lessened. Right after you have that slowdown phase. And that that makes it pretty difficult because she's a lot more mobile than we are, basically. She can kind of blink all around. Trying to do this on a controller would be very difficult if I did not have the quick turn from the OS tunings unlocked. I think this fight would be almost impossible without the quick turns. Even on keyboard and mouse, I still struggle to keep up with her and to not lose sight of her. She appears to be coded to fly precisely behind you. And if you start to turn in any direction to follow her, she will dodge again to stay behind you. And so that quick turn would perhaps be able to counter that. I did not feel like learning an entirely new mechanic just for a single boss fight. It would have also meant I would have had to rerun all of my OS tuning, and it would have been like the 4th time I've tampered with the OS tuning, so I just didn't feel like doing it. Let's see. So that final build there was the Gatling gun, the bubble gun, the javelin missile launcher, and the chainsaw. So I went with the chainsaw because it has one of the higher direct-to-hit adjustments in the whole game. My OS tuning is built completely around energy and melee weapons. So the drill and the pulse blade, the laser sword, the laser dagger, just none of those things were gonna do enough. They just didn't hurt enough. I could get pretty consistently close to 12,000 damage off with my chainsaw and a single shot from the detonating bazooka. That's just so much more than I was able to get from anything else. When I was using the pulse blade, I think I was getting somewhere around like 5,000 or 6,000 from 2 swings, which is my most high damaging way of using that particular melee weapon. It just wasn't making the cut. I could knock her down twice and get her to that halfway point with the chainsaw. So we went with the chainsaw, we went with the detonating bazooka. I had the detonating bazooka for second phase. A lot of the failed second phases that I had were actually, I would get her to about like 20% health remaining, and then I just wouldn't be able to touch her. Just nothing that I did seemed to work. So what you saw me trying in that last attempt there was guessing when she was going to come swinging in for a melee. I have to dodge her 2 after images in order for it to work properly. And I think both of the times I tried to use my assault armor, I didn't dodge the after images and tried to just time it regardless, where she would come in. If you can hit her with an assault armor in that second phase, when she dashes in to hit you with her sword, you can instantly knock her into the composure state, where her whole ACS bar is red. So I'm definitely going to run that again. If it doesn't immediately kick me to New Game Plus, I'm definitely going to run that again.
Position verified. Playing back message. Sender, Handler Walter.
Looks like you got the job done. You chose to carry our burden and right the wrongs of the past. I'm sorry. And I'm grateful. 621. There's nothing left to bind you. Whatever choices you make now, I just hope you find your true potential.
That's a neat ending. All right.
Registration number RB23. Call sign Raven. Authentication complete. Removing MIA status. Restoring access privileges. This is Allmind, the mercenary support system. Raven, you've returned. Welcome back. Allmind anticipates great things from you.
Looks like it may have already kicked me to New Game Plus.
Looks like you passed the authentication. That was quite the welcome home. Raven, I've picked up some more.
Yeah. Damn. If I go to replay. Good. Okay, so I can go back and play it again. Alright, awesome. Oh, it's like I missed some stuff in there. That's not good. Alright. At the risk of losing my sanity, let's try this again.
I'm waiting at the closure station.
There's a few things that I'd like to do a little bit better. So the reason that we're coming back to this mission is because I want to play it a bit again. I want to do better on this mission. However, you should know, dear viewer, that a lot of these Souls games that are made by FromSoft are designed to be played through at least 3 times. The reason for that is because there are often multiple endings. In some of the Dark Souls games, you gain access to new dialogue or to potential to see new kinds of enemies or different kinds of challenges as you play through the new game. It's called New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus. So your first run through is just called New Game. New Game Plus is your second run through on the same character file. So these games always reset themselves. We're going to go through and do New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus for this game. It's going to mean that there's a lot of repeated missions, but there's potential to see new kinds of fights and new secrets and stories within the missions we've played before, in addition to straight up new missions that could be available in the game. So I look forward to playing through those new missions and finding the new things. The first run through of any Souls type game is always very sparse in the story. It's easy to miss a lot of things. It's easy to get a half-baked picture. For example, the picture we have of Coral right now is the picture of Ayre, where she's super helpful and, very data-driven and clearly well-connected with electronics and everything else. She calls herself a Rubiconian. She paints the Coral as, not dangerous, but clearly it can be weaponized and it can be very dangerous. We've fought many bosses, many enemies, and now her, that are emblems of weaponized Coral. You have Walter and Carla, who seem to think that Coral is dangerous and it needs to be killed. You have the corporations that think that Coral is fuel, that it can be used, it can be sold, it can be a commodity. So when you see those missiles like that, it's always going to be best. Oh, darn it, I'm not going to make it. Alright. Doesn't help that my chainsaw didn't switch when I told it to switch.
Main system activating combat mode.
When you see her drop the missiles like that, you have to dodge pretty much as soon as the missiles come out. If you wait any longer, then at least one of them will tag you. There you go. Got you, honey. And that name is super. So there you go, about 12,000 damage. Oh, dodged the wrong way. Damn it.
Nothing back.
Taking a little more damage than I would have liked on this run. Oh, gotta get up. Nope, come on. No.
Main system activating combat mode.
I will stop you.
I'm getting killed by weapon switches not happening.
Carrying your shared resolve on the wings of this machine.
So I found that dodging into her sword strikes is a fairly consistent way of dodging.
I saw the potential for our future.
It's just, if you try to dodge to the left or to the right or any other direction, it's just not guaranteed that she won't hit you. Detonating bazooka off. Yeah, that's too bad. She got shit back up super fast. See, if you dodge to the side like that, you're gonna get hit.
You are strong. Dangerous. I hold nothing back.
Like I said there, they see dodge to the side again. Old habits.
2 repair kits remaining.
I did. So you got to get right over the top of her with the melee dodge. Again, if you try to dive backwards, you have to dodge really early, and I've struggled to do that consistently.
Stop you.
If you dodge to the left or the right, she's gonna hit you.
Carrying your shared resolve on the wings of this machine. Symbiosis, a shared life. I saw the potential for our future within you. You and I have walked together.
There we go. So I will also say that this is not the most efficient way to fight it. There is one of your OS options is a thing called Weapon Purge, and if you get that, you can drop
Nothing back.
either your left or your right hand weapon. It frees up some weight on your... Oh, I dodged too early. It frees up some weight on your AC. But the other thing that it does is it opens up the opportunity... Oh my god. This is what I mean by she dodges to stay behind you. And it gives you the opportunity to punch. Now, when you punch, you extend the duration of their...
Fires that haunt Rubicon.
You extend the duration of their composure lock.
2 repair kits remaining.
You can get it to where they are basically infinitely composure locked. If you're punching them properly. Ooh, that was close. Where'd you go? There you are. Dodge into the actor images.
Brothers and sisters.
Gotcha.
Humanity wants to burn it all. Everything on Rubicon. I won't let you.
Oh, come on! Yes, let's go, dude. Ooh, that assault armor knocking her back down was super, super lucky. We've seen you die once already, honey. There we go. Look at that. We got the S2. I will take that run. I will absolutely take that run. So, like I said, probably the most efficient way, because you got to know that, you know, I did the standard I'm a scrub thing after I struggled with her for over an hour. As I started looking up to see, you know, how did other people beat her, because I know that there's people out there that have no hit this game before. There was a guy who would purge his right hand weapon, and he'd knock her ACS, you know, get her to that composure state where she's knocked down, would kind of wail on her a little bit, and then would just start punching her until his melee weapon would come off of cooldown, and then he would just melee hit her again. And I don't actually know how he went through the second phase taking no hits. I don't recall if he assault armored something and knocked her out. But basically, he finished the whole fight, I think, in less than 2 minutes. It was It's pretty impressive. I think it might have been around a minute-long fight, actually. So, do not take this as like, oh, this is like the gold standard way of beating her or anything like that. I probably beat her in one of the most crude ways possible. I'll say that it's because I know easier ways to play the game. I could have just run, dual chain guns there, and it might have taken a little bit longer to get through her shield, but I probably would have just destroyed her in the second phase. I could have done what the no-hit guy did. Like there's different things that I could have done that would have made it easier. But I chose for it to be hard. So don't look at this as like, oh yeah, this is a great way to get an S rank on it or anything like that. I fully realized that what I did was needlessly difficult. So we are gonna hold on to you. So you're an interesting build. There's our air killer. So just so that you can see, where'd you go? Oh, there we go. Upload. So, for those of you that want to run this same build, all the parts and everything are exactly the same. There's your ID code. You can go ahead and take a quick screenshot and grab that. You can run it as well. Don't know how much application this build is going to have outside of killing Ayre, just because all of these weapons are super short range except for the detonating bazooka. So we're definitely going to go back to our standard build now. So I think I actually had... Yeah, I think I went down to those. Oh, you know what? I think... Yeah, this was my new build. Instead of the VE20C, so the VE20C gives me that 128 energy firearm spec. I did go back to the VP20C for that fight. I hardly had any. The pulse weapon is technically an energy weapon, but I didn't really notice the loss in damage that much. Getting my energy back way faster was just so much more helpful to me. Let's see. I've seen a lot of people like to go with... maybe I don't have it unlocked yet. There is a FCS that gives me 90 close range assist. I haven't seen that. So this is the build that I've been running. I've got the laser rifle. I have the pulse blade. I have the plasma missile launchers on my back if I have to deal with multiple enemies. One of those plasma missiles is usually enough to kill them. And then I have the laser lance as well. Instead of the Merrill head, we're going to go back to our new goofy one. Just because this one has an incredible scan range. It reveals them for a really long time. So we're definitely going to go back to that one. None of the other heads can even compete with that kind of range or anything. It's goofy looking. Let's go ahead and let's head back to the grid cleanup.
Got a job for you, 621.
And then we'll wrap things up here.
It's an open call from the Arquebus group, one of the extra.
We've heard you before.
You've got ID. Now you need a rep. Get their attention, 621.
I don't recall if I showed this in the S rank of the mission or not, but there is a
Wipe out the Dafag MT squad.
small hole in the wall back here that leads you to, it's not, I guess I wouldn't call it an Easter egg, but it leads you to some content that's
The Archivist group hired
not
some
easily
monkeys.
found.
An independent mercenary, huh? At least they didn't send the Vespers. Intercepting!
They're just mass-produced MTs. Wipe them out since 2-1.
This AC pilot's sharp.
Focus your fire!
Ah, ran into a wall.
Have Murphy turn through us. Damn it.
There it
Archivist
is.
really scored this time.
Got a nice little hole in the wall up here.
Left.
And one of these little invisible guys that we find at the boss.
Handling 6-1.
Ooh, really? Cracky little son of a nutcracker. I'm surprised that's not a,
Confirmed. Unidentified machine down.
Oh, you know what?
Get back to work.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised that's not one of those, you know, combat logs that we need to find, but that's one of All Mine's little MTs. So, I guess, in second thought, it's not that surprising. Seeing as how she wouldn't really want you killing her own MTs.
6-1, wait. I'm picking up new enemy signatures. Looks like reinforcements. Eliminate them.
Oh, wow. Good for you guys who lived through that. Alright.
The enemy MT squad has been eliminated. That's it for this job.
Yeah,
6-2-1.
I don't think we're gonna have
Return to base.
a whole lot of trouble with the majority of these early missions. Now it just becomes a matter of whether or not we're going to be able to find all of the new things that are actually in missions. Then in the part shop. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Thanks for watching, folks. We will continue with the New Game Plus in the next run. When I put out the S runs for Chapter 5, I'll include the one that you guys just watched live. Maybe I'll try to run it again. But right now, I'm very happy to be done with that mission, so no promises that I'll try it again. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.